welcome to Brands Hatch. Today the GT Cup Championship returns to Brands, this time to take on the relentless 1.2 mile Indy circuit for this, the 5th round of the championship. Last time the GT Cup Championship raced here at Brands Hatch, torrential rain played a big part in proceedings. Today, so far, the weather looks as though it's going to be better, and the competitors will certainly be hoping that the sun stays shining here today. Another new challenge out there, though, are several new cars joining the grid this weekend. Let's head down to the paddock and find out a bit more about our newcomers. So here in the garage is Helen, MD of Chevron Racing Cars. It's great to see Chevron coming and joining the GT Cup. What was it that inspired you to come and have a go with the championship?
Well, it wasn't exactly inspiration, it was really circumstances. Our driver Jordan Witt was ill last week, and we decided not to do British GT, and in compensation to Jordan we come to do GT Cup for the first time, and it's been fantastic. It's really opened our eyes, loved it. Great weekend, and looking forward to the weekend of races.
Now, tell us about the history of the company, because Chevron's not a name that everybody will instantly know about, but it's got quite a history in racing, hasn't it?
Yes, it's one of the few British heritage marks still owned by a British company, British people, family owned actually. So it's 1965 the first car was made, designed by Derek Bennett, and we're still here many years later.
Well, I think you can be proud of the cars for sure. They look fantastic, and we're all looking forward to seeing how they get on with the racing today.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
Well, Jordan, hi, welcome to the GT Cup Championship. What have you seen about the championship that has appealed to you?
It's just, I don't know, it seems quite an open championship. People talk to each other, everyone gets on together, and it always seems to be fair on the track. People move out the way in qualifying, things like that, so it's just good fun, really.
So what result would you be happy with today? Qualifying went really well.
Well, the way that I see it is, in the dry, we tend to struggle power-wise in the straight line against the quicker cars, but I've started in the top 3, so I just hope that I can finish in the top 3. That's all that I want, really.
And ideally a bit of rain wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah, definitely. If it rained, that would be perfect.
So Russell, you're new to the championship this weekend. You're joining the herd of Group 3 BMWs that we've got. What was it that appealed to you?
Well, just to get back in the car again, really. I haven't been in the car since the CSL Cup finished last year, and thanks to my sponsor, Apex Circuit Design, it sort of happened for this weekend, so all good.
And finally, what result would you be happy with today?
Well, obviously finishing ahead of them 2 orange cars would be what I'd be looking for, but we'll see.
Well, best of luck. We'll look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, here we are down on the grid, ready for the first race of the day here on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Qualifying yesterday was really wet, so it's really shook up the grid today. On the second row, well, we've got championship leader Andy Rowan in the Porsche. We've also got our newcomer, Jordan Witt, in the Chevron. He was really hoping for rain. At the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to get it. And on the front row, well, we've got Ferraris going head to head. Over to you, Ben, in the commentary box.
Thanks, Charlie. Full field of GT Cup cars ready for this race on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, with Peter Bamford on pole, David Tomlin alongside him on the front row of the grid, Jordan Witt, the newcomer, in 3rd, and the championship leader Andy Rowan in 4th, Simon Blankley in 5th. Towards the back of the field, that's where we'll find the Group 3 runners, with Russell Foster, Mark Radcliffe and Adam Hayes all looking to go head-to-head with Robert Koenig also well up. It's going to be a frantic 25 minutes of action, rolling stars ever in the GT Cup Championship, and away we go. It's Bamford in the white Ferrari who leads them across the line. A slightly untidy start as Jordan Witt looked to get an early jump in the little yellow Chevron, so they fan out almost 3 abreast towards Paddock Hill Bend as Bamford goes around. The pulse as Peter Bamford goes around as Gary Eastwood picks away through. Yes, there's Peter Bamford, you can just see to the side of the circuit. So Eastwood in the midfield accelerates past Adam Hayes up to Druids. That's Paul Cope in the Venturi, chases down Francis Galashan for Group 2 honours. Back in car Gary Eastwood. Look at this, there's some rain just beginning to form on the windscreen. Treacherous conditions for these drivers on slick tyres. So the field safely through. Graham Hill Bent, it's Don Grice chasing Gary Eastwood in the black Ferrari, and then Robert Koenig in the Porsche there as well. And we have a change for second. It's Jordan Witt who moves up to the inside of Andy Ruin. That's David Tomlin, the race leader. So Tomlin leads and is pulling away here from Jordan Witt in second, then Andy Ruin in third, and then look at this for fourth place. It's Michael Simmons in the BMW with Mike Saunders just behind him in the TVR, and then Simon Blankley in the Porsche rounding out that trio, and then Francis Galashan and Paul Cope battling for Group 2 honours. And that smoke there from Saunders. Now, has Mike Saunders got a problem here, or is it just the early stages when he was twitching en route? And look at the fluid coming out of the car through Druids. So Saunders has got a real problem here with that fluid going onto his slick tyres. He's got no option but to pull off the speed and peel into the pit lane to find out what the problem is. So disaster for the TVR, who went so well here in June. He didn't get the results because of various incidents, but he had race-winning pace all weekend. Back to this fight for second, it's still Jordan Witt who's ahead of the queue with Andy Ruin looking to make the move up the inside in towards Paddock Hill Bend, and through goes Ruin. So Andy Ruin, championship leader, double winner from Snetterton back in June. Last time out, he comes through up into second, and then great to see Michael Simmons there in fourth, having a good run in the BMW with Simon Blankley rounding out this group of cars, fighting out for second in the race and second in Group 1. These are all Group 1 cars. Out of Graham Hill Bend comes that distance. Here comes the Group 3 fight for lead, and look at this, the three BMWs, Russell Foster leading it from Mark Radcliffe and Adam Hayes. Wherever you look around the field, there's plenty of dicing going on. It's Robert Koenig in the Porsche, and then Rupert Martin in the yellow Ferrari surging around the outside. So Martin gains the places, then Sean Winder next up in the red Ferrari trying to make his way through. Into the cockpit here of Michael Simmons in fourth position, trying to close in on the Chevron GR8 of Jordan Witt. Accelerate along Bramham Straight, and around the outside of the Chevron he goes. Although these cars are all in Group 1, the multi-mark equalisation formula means that some of the cars go better on the straights and some of them go better through the corners, accelerating out of the corners. That's the case of the Chevron. They've got the corner speed, but they do give away something to some of the other cars along the straights. So it's now Simmons' turn to take the challenge to Andy Ruin. Down through the gears into Graham Hill Bend, quick trip across the curbs. Super to see Michael having a good run here in the BMW. Simon Blankley now takes his turn to try and challenge Jordan Witt, and this battle is also bringing Paul Cope back into play in the Von Schury. Superb fight this. So Simmons, we go sideways with Simmons, a bit of a moment there as he gathers it all up and accelerates on the Bramham Straight. That will have cost him some momentum. Are we going to see Jordan Witt going through? No, we're not, because Witt's not got the straight line speed. Instead, Simon Blankley, who challenges the BMW, which has begun to start smoking. So Simmons has got a problem here. There's smoke coming from the rear of the BMW. Here's why. The slenderest of touches there from Jordan Witt, just enough to unsettle the BMW. And unfortunately, Michael Simmons may well have a little bit of bodywork rubbing on the tyre, because that is what would appear to be producing the smoke out of Graham Hill Bend. And Blankley looking to the inside of Michael Simmons into Surtees. Well, despite the smoke, Simmons is certainly not delayed here in terms of pace, as Jordan Witt goes flying off at Surtees. An enormous spin for Jordan Witt. He almost goes across the entire stretch of infield there. He actually brings the car to a fairly neat halt and looks for a point to rejoin. Back to the fight for Group 3, and it's still Russell Foster, newcomer in the blue BMW. He leads Mark Radcliffe and then Adam Hayes. And with Bartley Dougal not competing this weekend, this is a good opportunity for Radcliffe and Hayes in particular to start taking some points away from Bartley Dougal ahead of the Group 3 Championship. At the moment, it's the newcomer Russell Foster who is showing them the way home. It's David Tomlin who is showing all of them the way home, and Tomlin looking well set here, possibly to claim his first victory the 2011 season, with Ruin in second, Blankley third. Then it's Simmons and Paul Cope in the Von Schury leading Group 2. Michael Simmons still hasn't given up here, but Simon Blankley just up the road ahead of him. So here's Paul Cope, super to see the Von Schury out to get the GT Cup Championship and actually running reliably. As Simmons turns through, Surtees has a big moment again. He gathers it all up, then he goes on the grass and around he goes. I thought he'd saved it there for a moment, but no such luck, and that's why there's a puncture on the rear right. So Michael Simmons has got a puncture. That's surely going to mean he has to pull into the pit lane. So disaster there for Simmons. And the other BMWs in the race having a great tussle too, as Adam Hayes closes in on the tail of Mark Radcliffe. Hayes in the number 9 car, Radcliffe in 19, and both of them still in pursuit of the blue machine, Russell Foster, that leads the way. This is the fight for second place. It's Andy Ruin who is coming under increasing pressure here from Simon Blankley. Blankley carrying a lot of speed through Surtees. He looks to the inside of Ruin into Clearways. He snags a break, but he can't quite squeeze past championship leader Andy Ruin. So they accelerate onto Bramham Straight once more. Now possibly under braking into Paddock Hill Bend. We'll have an opening here for Simon Blankley to find his way through. Maybe not, he's not quite close enough really to Andy Ruin. He gave away quite a lot of time hooking those brakes into Clearways. So Andy Ruin, this Paddock Hill Bend and Druids, is secure from attack here for Simon Blankley. So they turn through the right-hand hairpin at Druids and then head back down the hill to Graham Hill Bend. As for the final time, David Tomlin turns into Clearways. It's been an emphatic lights to flag victory for David. He will be over the moon with this. He loves his racing and has been going better and better throughout the 2011 season. He accelerates along Bramham Straight for the final time. The checkered flag goes out and it's David Tomlin who takes the first victory at Brands Hatch. Andy Ruin just holds on for second with Simon Blankley in third. David Tomlin waving to the crowd and receiving the acclaim. Here are the results with the win for Tomlin. Ruin in second, Blankley third, Paul Cope an excellent fourth to claim Group 2 honours, and then ninth place for Russell Foster, winning Group 3 with Mark Radcliffe rounding out the top 10. In terms of the group podiums, it's David Tomlin, Andy Ruin and Simon Blankley in Group 1. Group 2 is Paul Cope from Francis Gallishan and Sean Winder, and Group 3 went the way of Russell Foster from Mark Radcliffe and Adam Hayes.
Well, David, you've finally done it, your first GT Cup win.
Yep, I've had it on pole a couple of times. I've been there or thereabouts, a few seconds, but it's a great feeling to win for the first time this year.
And talk us through that first lap.
Yeah, I spun on the very formation lap, so I dropped back, didn't fall to the back of the pack, and then finally got through to about third or fourth at the start, and I think it was Peter Bamford spun in the first corner, and that gave me a little bit of a gap to carry on, and it made a good gap between me and the pursuing crowd.
Great to see you taking the group win there in the Venturi. How was it for you?
Excellent, trouble-free race really. I just stayed there or thereabouts, going quickly enough, so I'm very happy with the way the car's going.
Do you think we'll see a repeat of this in race 2?
Every possibility. We need to try and get the clutch to work or we won't get onto the grid.
That would help, yeah. Good luck with that.
Okay, thanks very much.
Well, Russell, your first race in GT Cup and you've taken a group win. Well done.
Yeah, excellent debut. Can't quite believe it really, but managed to avoid the crash at the beginning and keep out of trouble. Keep Mark and Adam honest really, and that was it. Yeah.
You certainly got Mark on yourself for a lot of that, hadn't you?
Yeah, I tried not to look in my mirror too much, so yeah, couldn't wait for the checkered flag.
Well done.
Right. Thank you.
Well, what a fantastic way to start the racing here at Brands Hatch with 3 brand new faces up on the top step of the podium. Race 2 is set to be another cracker, so join us after the break.